Oh, that's great. Looks like we're in good shape. Got the images. Um, Typical paint program, Corel Draw or Photoshop. So I've got all the images that could go on the cow stress ball. We're gonna we're gonna transfer them on the back here, so we can scoot over to the program and just see how it's going to look on the back of the cow. So it's a black background here. So we want to see how any one of these images, the moon, the cheese, the earth, the burgers, Ferrari. We want to see how the images are going to look on the back of the stress cow, because it's got a black background. If it had a white background, that's how the images would look, or say yellow background. So I think we're in good shape. The black background looks just fine. So close that preview, and well, we can go to print. So I've got the paper here. Transfer paper. I'm just going to put it in the printer. Get it nice and positioned and prepared. I'm having to do this one-handed, but should manage. And okay, we're ready, and I'm just going to push print. So I'm going to get that printed up. Just move over to the back here. Wow. Wow. That's awesome. See the images here. Now you have to be careful not to touch the ink in any way, because it will smudge. It still comes fresh out of the printer. So what we have to do to kind of pre-prepare the ink and make it a bit more workable, because we're going to have to cut these out, is we're just going to fuse it. And you can use a hairdryer, or this is a heat gun that I have. You can get at any typical hardware store. And we're just going to fuse the ink that's on the paper. So, and notice the color changing with the ink. So I'm just going to get a little closer and just notice when I turn on the heat how the color changes. Slight color change. So all these guys are fused onto the paper, just get this out of the way, and the paper is a bit more workable now. Now we still don't want to be touching the actual images, because the ink will smudge, but it's just that little bit more workable. So because I'm working with one hand here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the phone down, and I'm going to cut out the images that we can transfer onto the cow. So maybe I'll just cut out one of each image, and we've got an image of the moon here. We've got the cheese. We've got the earth. We've got the burger, Ferrari logo. We've got the cash, and we've got SpongeBob here, and we've got the baby. So I'm going to cut out one of each, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've cut one of each of the images out from here. Now, if they were more uniform, you could probably get away with using one of those guillotine cutters, but I've just used the scissors to go around and cut each one out. So each of these guys are ready to use and transfer onto our stress ball. I'm just going to bring them over. So we're going to transfer the image of the baby, and one of the things we have to prepare is the hot plate. So I'm just going to switch that on, and probably want to make sure that it's around 200 degrees at the top here, and this is usually pre-programmed from the manufacturer, or you can just set it to around 200. So just going to wait a few minutes for that to heat up. As you can see, it's gone up from 14 to now it's 18, and we're going to need one of these. This is like a silicone pad. Dab it on here, heats up, and that's what we're going to use to get our baby image on the cow. So I'm just gonna cut out, use the scissors to cut out the image of the baby here. All right, that's great. So we've got our images lined up here, ready to use, and we've got our cow. We're going to transfer one of these images to the top right here. Now, what I've got here preheated is the hot plate. This is really hot. It's 235 degrees right there. And what this hot plate does is, when we pick up one of these guys, we're going to flip it so it's sitting on top of the cow, and we've got a pad here, a silicone pad, which we preheat. So we put on the hot plate, and we heat that up. While that's heating, we're going to prepare our image here, and it's easy to work with. It's easier to work with because it's not it's been slightly fused to the paper. So what are we going to pick up here first? Let's try the baby. So take the cow, got the baby here, and I'm going to flip that, put it on the back of the cow like this. Okay. Now this will be a lot easier with two hands, but we should be able to manage here. And hopefully our silicone pad is heated enough. Now if you take it off slightly, you might see just a little hint of smoke, which, I mean, it's not burning, but it's just giving you an idea that it's hot. So we go from silicone pad straight onto the cow. Now, you don't want to apply too much pressure. Just let it sit down on the back of the paper, and you're just transferring the heat. It's the transfer of the heat that brings it to the back of the cow. And I'm rocking it slightly because the surface of the cow is slightly curved. So I want to get uniform heat across the cow, across the top of the cow. I'm making sure my pad, silicone pad, stays hot. So I'm just applying that uniform heat. I'm going to heat it up one more time. Now there's no hard and fast rule to how many times you heat the pad to transfer, but what you don't want is you don't want the sheet moving where you're doing the transfer. So it's obviously easier with two hands, but I'm just I'm just trusting my current technique here. Okay. Right. So we've transferred the heat to the paper, and I'm just going to let that cool for a few seconds here. Just let that cool a little bit. Because it's the heat that's actually made it transfer onto the cowl. And we're just going to let the paper cool, the paper and ink cool. And I think we might be ready now. I'm just going to take it off. How's that? Cute baby drinking the milk on the back of the cow. Awesome.